Tanner's with us in Washington, D.C. Hi, Tanner. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So my question is, I'm curious about the flexibility of spending more than 30% of your take-home pay on rent. Found that pretty difficult to do, especially in like an urban area like DC. I live in downtown. I make around $90,000 a year, post-grad 23-year-old. I got $20,000 in cash and $7,000 in an investment account, and my only debt is around $7,500 in student loans, and I spend about $2,000 a month in rent, which is my biggest expense by far. But I still find myself able to save and spend less on other things. I'm just curious your take on that approach.
Okay. Well, we tell folks to put 25% of their take-home pay aside for housing. And no, math works in every city and in every state. You don't get a pass on math because you're in Washington, D.C., even though Congress thinks you do.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, a lot of people think they do.
Yeah, a lot of people in D.C. think you do, but you don't. And the purpose behind it is not that 25% is magic, Tanner. The purpose behind it is don't be house poor. If you find yourself able to save and able to invest because you keep all other parts of your lifestyle so low, then you're okay. But what happens to most people is when they've got a high cost of housing in their budget, it squeezes their budget and there's not room to save up to buy the next car, so the next car becomes debt. And there's not room to save up for Christmas, and Christmas becomes debt. And there's not room to save up for a couch, and the couch becomes debt, and because it's all going out in house payment. And so, in effect, what you did is you didn't, by squeezing yourself, you did that. Now, you're telling me you've made room in your budget and you're doing okay, then, if whatever you want to do, brother. But here's the thing. Whatever you spend on rent is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're just setting fire to $100 bills in the middle of the floor. And so the more $100 bills you burn in the middle of the floor, the less money you got, man. I mean, it's a pretty simple equation.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely reduces the ability to buy down the road for sure.
Yeah, I mean, because you're giving it to them in rent. And so I don't know how you fix that exactly necessarily in your situation. Maybe your commute is longer. Maybe there's a roommate involved, or maybe you just say, it's going to cost me this, and it's my choice, and I'm an adult. Well, yeah, you're allowed to do all that. But our reason to giving you the 25% guideline, it's not a rule, it's a guideline, is so that you don't become house poor. Because if you're, for instance, going to get a mortgage, folks in America, the stupid mortgage company will approve you for almost double that. I mean, they'll approve you close to 50% of your take-home pay, 36% of your ratio, and so, and that's not based on take-home pay, the 36, that you can get a house payment up close to half of your dadgum take-home pay, and there's just no way that budget works, people. And, well, I'm in California. Well, California, they got to do math too, even though your governor doesn't think so. You got to do math, it's not an option. Math is math, and it's not a moral construct. It's a math thing.
Well, to win, Tanner, in professional world, financial world, you've got to sacrifice. Everybody who wins has to sacrifice something. And what we've done here with this 25%, you are now having to choose. Do you want to sacrifice money, as Dave said, by burning those extra $100 between the 5% that we're talking about? Or do you want to sacrifice a little bit of your time? Now, you're living downtown D.C., that's premium. And I get it. You may work on the Hill, who knows what you do, but you're there for a reason. But if you move out into the suburbs of Northern Virginia, I know it well, yes, it's a headache. But we'd rather you sacrifice the right thing, and that's why we put this. I want people to understand what we're teaching here. It's not to be hard and fast on a rule. It's to help you learn what you need to sacrifice. And in my situation, if I were in your situation, Tanner, I would be sacrificing my time, not my money.
Yeah, 23 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will tell you this, Ken. I did it worse than he's doing it.
Sure.
Worse.
Yeah, he's in good shape.
My wife and I get out of college, and here's how stupid we were. We go and rent we have 2 dogs. We're just out of college.
Yep.
We got 2 little jobs. We go and rent a 3-bedroom townhouse.
Sure.
Luxury.
Right.
Thing.
Sure.
That's like 5 times what we needed. Because we thought it was cool.
Do you remember what were in the extra rooms?
Nothing.
Sure.
Because by the time we finished paying the freaking rent, we had no money.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we ended up doing was moving into a little one-bedroom apartment in a questionable, I don't know what those ladies down the hall were doing, in a questionable situation. And
you were hoping you weren't on a Vice episode.
Man, I'm telling you. And we lived there for a year, but it was 1/3 the rent that we were paying before. 1/3. And so that'd be like you had an $1,800 rent, and we moved down to a $600 rent.
Right.
Kind of thing today. In today's dollars, it was a lot less than that back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. But yeah, oh my gosh, wow.
Well, see, I hear that.
I did the exact same crap.
No,
okay?
I get it. But
I
to your
wanted
point,
something nice, and I had a job.
Yeah.
And I'd gotten out of college, and I deserved it.
We
But
have
I
a
was
lot of
stupid.
23-year-olds that are in a very similar situation to Tanner. Now, just think about this. If he gets a roommate, and now he's saving, let's just call it $1,000 a month, okay, splitting the rent. He's paying off that student loan debt of $7,000 really, really fast, and now he's just stacking money.
Yeah,
so that's what we're
stacking
talking
cash.
about.
Stacking cash, man. It's so much smarter than rent.